So this is IROX Cape Town 2025. A bit nervous, but we did prep for this for like 3 months. So yeah, we just went inside. The vibes are immaculate in there, and I'm actually very excited. I want to run a sub hour and 20 minutes. So let's see. I'm telling that to everyone to keep me accountable, to motivate me. So let's see. Post race, we'll see what the time is, but an hour, sub hour and 20 is the goal.
And that will be very embarrassing if we don't make that. Yeah, Quentin's going to do everything and I'm just going to join the jogs.
Chris Williams recently shared a quote that I really fell in love with. He said, "I could always hear my better self cleaning his throat in the room next door." And I wondered whether or not that guy would ever stop fucking coughing and kick the door in. And sure enough, he did. You know, that image has never left me since I've heard it. It's this idea that your better self is right there and you can always hear him, to a large degree almost see him, feel him. It's this idea that we all know we have a better, smarter, more disciplined, more successful version of ourselves that we are not allowing to manifest in this life, right? And we can so very vaguely, especially late at night when you are alone, you know, brushing your teeth before going to bed, or the 5 minutes before you fall asleep, when you know you are really the only person that's thinking and you're listening to this, no distractions, and so very vaguely you can hear him saying, you can be more than you are, and you know it. There's that internal dream, that dialogue that you always have with yourself. And here's the truth, right? I think the majority of the reasons why we would not let that ideal self come to manifestation is because of suffering. Maybe we just don't want to go to the gym, right? Or I'm not going to build the business, it's tough, like too much friction.
I'm busy warming up right now. You're going on in about 10 minutes. The nerves are kicking right now, but I think that's a feeling I live for. It's nervous, you're not sure how you're going to perform, but that's what it's all about. Everyone out there is looking good. But yeah, feeling good. Excited.
But you know, suffering is a non-negotiable in this life. It is tough and difficult to be fat and overweight and unhealthy. But it's terrible and tough, and it's full of suffering to continuously strive to be healthy, to hit the gym, to eat healthy, to go outside, to walk. And same with being poor, right? And rich. It's difficult to be poor. It sucks. But it's also really difficult to build a successful business. And it takes discipline, right? And so it's not about whether or not you'll suffer. It's about whether or not you'll suffer is worth suffering for. And are you suffering consciously or by default? That's the thing. And so it's so much more difficult to willingly decide, I'm gonna suffer, right? Because it's a terrible thing. No one wants to suffer, but if you can link some purpose behind that and flip the script and realize, if I don't decide to consciously suffer now, I will be forced to suffer by default in the future because of my ignorance to the byproducts of my lack of action right now. And so it's this idea of the difference between peace and restlessness, fulfillment, regret, happiness and despair is the distance between your goal, your aspirations, and your reality. And so you either have to lower your goal to match your situation. It's easier in the short term. It leaves you blind to the long-term cost, mediocrity, resentment, and a quiet death of your potential. And above all, you will always still hear so very vaguely your ideal self clearing his throat in the room next door and knowing that you're not doing anything to let him in. That will kill you in the inside. Or you bring your current reality to your goals, essentially achieving your goals, right? This is much more difficult because now you have to consciously decide to suffer, but it's a lot more purposeful. And the byproduct of that is you get whatever the goal is, whether that be $100,000 a month or whatever the case may be, right? Whatever your goal is, a six-pack. And so it's tempting to lower the bar. It's tempting to tell yourself, I'm not going to do this. You know what, whatever, let me just bring it down the goals. I don't really want it. I don't really need it. But I don't think we realize, just because we're ignorant to growing up, right, and getting older, we don't know how it feels to live with regret of lack of action taking,
gentlemen. We are feeling great. It actually went really well. We crushed it. The goal was, like you guys know, 120. We did 121. So we missed it by a minute, but it was our first time. And I think we did really, really well. My legs are completely destroyed.
Jelly.
Yeah, but the vibes were amazing.
Yeah.
We really pushed ourselves. I think I really gave it my all. You also gave it your all. And yeah, it felt amazing afterwards. And yeah, excited to go to bed right now.
And one thing, I could actually push the sled push and pull the sled pull. And it helped me with the burpees.
I actually made a mistake. For some other reason, I thought the wall balls were 75 reps, not 100. And so like I stopped at 75, and then I was like debating with the guy, like, no,
But
I'm
he
finished.
told me 75 in the run just before we entered. And I was like, what do you mean 75?
Nah,
I don't know what he was talking about, so I was just like, what?
My
Just
brain was
left
too
it.
tired in the moment to think properly. So
Yeah.
yeah, but other than that, it went really well. I almost did like throw up like on the second lap. I don't know what happened. I took a shot of the electrolytes, but I don't know if my
It
stomach
was like
didn't.
the pre-protein kind of store.
Yeah, I don't know what was happening there, but other than that, it felt actually amazing. So yeah, maybe we'll do another one. We'll
We
see.
did real good.
Yeah.
Well done, honey.
Whoa.
This is our first and our last High Rocks as fiancés. Our next one is going to be as a married couple.
Hey, bling bling bling.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so we are eating lunch right now. So it's a bowl of frozen blueberries with some raw yogurt, and then we got some carrots for fiber. And the idea that I want to share with you guys right now is something that I heard Chris Williams speak about right now on a podcast, which is if you are doing great work and getting good results at a job that you hate, imagine how good you would be in a job that you love, right? It comes down to that entire idea of like, should you chase a goal or career that you enjoy doing, that you find purposeful or meaning or whatever. There's a million ways to make $1 million, right? You might as well chase the thing that you enjoy doing. Like, what do you mean? Especially when you're young, right? In the beginning, you might not even know what you enjoy doing or what you want to do, right? That's something that we all face at some point. And so most people tend to just throw themselves into going studying and get a degree. But then more often than not, right, they just look at the safety behind that. But then when they get into the career, it sucks. And then you got the sunken cost that you need to do this thing, but maybe you don't even want to do it. And like, what you're gonna do now after 4 years of studying? You're gonna have to go and work in that industry, right? And it's a shame. You're robbing yourself from so much life, because work is gonna be arguably the domain where you're spending the most time in your life. It's like 8-9 hours a day. So if you're not enjoying that, well, you are gonna be a miserable person. And I think it's your moral obligation to chase what you deem meaningful and purposeful. Why? Because that will always come back to serving other people. And I really think if you strip away all monetary or earthly progression and whatever, serving other people and making other people's lives better, I promise you, is going to be the most fulfilling thing you'll ever do. At least my humble opinion, that is what it is, right? It's more of a note to self than anything else. That's what I've realized. The more I put other people at the core of why I'm doing things, the better the outcome has been. Because then you increase the product. Your product is better. Your service delivery is better. How you speak and communicate with people, the way you frame things is just, it's better. And I think it's your moral obligation to chase what you deem meaningful. If you don't know what you want to do, well, Jordan Peterson said, right? Set a goal. Even if the goal is shit. The worst thing that can happen is at least you know now what you don't want to do. And then you can set a new goal. But it's infinitely better than what you were doing previously, which was trying to figure out what's the best goal, where there's no progression. The potential best goal that you're still trying to figure out is infinitely worse because you're not taking any action. Compared to setting a terrible goal, which could be the best one that you're thinking of right now, taking action and realizing that goal was shit. Okay, or maybe something of that goal was terrible, but part of it was fun. And so let me rather do that, right? That's what happened to me. I pursued a career in sales and real estate, and I realized, oh, okay, maybe in that time of moment, that's not for me. But I really fell in love with the production and the marketing aspect. And so I took over the social media. I did all the photos and videos for the real estate company. And then I pivoted into a production company. And now I'm running an SMMA with my business partner, right? A social media marketing agency. That's how I got to doing things. But, I didn't know what I was going to do when I started. So you just need to set a goal, spend time in the market, and with time, your purpose and your meaning will unveil itself. And I always think it's going to come down to the best way you can serve other people. And so I think by keeping that as the core focus, you'll end up where you need to be. All right, so we are on our way to to Lion's Head right now for our first in-person event slash meetup. Andrew is in the back and we got James here as well. We actually have no idea how many people are gonna show up. So yeah, this is a funny feeling that we're experiencing right now. Because like there could be like 5 people or like 35 people, 50 people, you know, so yeah, very interesting stuff.
Vat hom vas, papi. Damn. Yay!
Crazy work.
People different now, yeah.
When I tell you what I'm telling you right now, you're either gonna hate me or you're gonna.
Oh yeah.
I'm carnivore.
You carnivore?
Yes.
Okay. I don't really mind. I have a thing against vegetarians.
Yes.
And that's that.
And even more against vegans.
Yeah, she was a vegan. Nah, but I converted.
Yeah, you converted it.
I slowly but surely gave her biltong,
Yeah.
and then she
It
transitioned.
can be fine. Look, then you need to be hyper.
The main thing is, right, for me, I believe every diet can work for every person if they just do it correctly. The problem is, I have a belief that you want to live in accordance with nature and limit pharmaceutical like supplements and stuff. And if you are either vegetarian or potentially, if you don't do carnivore correctly, you need to get external things to supplement for deficiencies. Whereas if you eat like, I think the best diet is just a whole food based, fruits, vegetables, predominantly meat and dairy. I think the best one is animal based. Yeah, animal based. So with fruits and honey. The only thing that I think carnivore is a wonderful diet for a certain amount of time if you want to get rid of certain diseases. But I think for the majority of, because if you want to recommend a certain diet, you need to look at a holistic perspective and on a macro level. For a macro person, maybe you like extreme, like a lifestyle. Like carnivore is like, fuck carbs. I don't want any carbs, just give me meat.
It's not going to be for the majority.
Exactly.
And then also, it's expensive.
Yeah, but if that works for you, that's amazing. For the majority, I need to look at, okay, what does the majority person want? I think the best way to do it, focus on fiber, protein, get it from whole foods. And that's amazing. You've never seen an overweight, obese person from eggs and chicken, bro. You just don't see it. You see it from easy, like palatable foods, from peanut butter. You see it from like oaties and
But
stuff.
then it sucks because many foods that have the healthy label, some of them still have this high of the calories. Then
Oh yeah.
peanut butter, I don't know,
Yeah.
oats,
I don't. Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
avocado.
Yeah, it's not even, but that's also the thing.
Nuts.
Right? Calories aren't the issue, right? People need calories, but it mustn't be in excess. And what I believe is, if you eat from whole foods, your fiber intake is going to be higher, so you're going to be satiated more.
The ratio needs to fit. The
Exactly.
nutrient ratio.
And so if you're eating, for example, avo, I believe to be a superfood. I think you need to limit your nuts because it's easy to overeat on that. But if you're getting high fiber, so let's say if your goal is to get 30 grams of fiber, you're going to be satiated more than if you don't get that in. So it's almost going to be impossible to eat too much. And if you pair that with good training, you will never be obese in your life again.
All right, our event that happened on Saturday was a huge success. We had 21 people or 20 people turn up, which was a wonderful thing from the community. This was our first ever live event, right? And then I was extremely nervous. We weren't sure how many people, not nervous, but like, we weren't sure how many people was gonna pull up, right? There could be 3, there could be 450. We had no idea what to expect. We've never done something like that before. And 21 people pulled up in 18 hours of notice. and a lot of people wanted to come, but they aren't all in Cape Town, right? So it would have been even more if we maybe planned it out a bit better. But yeah, what an exceptional experience, and there's something profound about seeing them, you know, the manifestation or real life manifestation of the work that you put in and the results or the service that you give to others, right? We obviously built this community for like a year and 4 months, and it's the first time that we have done an in-person event like we did. And yeah, what an amazing experience it was to meet every single one of you. And yeah, that just gave me the needed motivation and inspiration to continue doing what I'm doing, right? Once you see that the product that you're building or service you're building is truly helping other people, you come to realize that it's a moral obligation to continue building and pursuing through the suffering with and the burdens and the tribulations that comes with you know, entrepreneurship and building something great, because you realize, oh my word, the thing that I'm building is not for me, it's for others, it's helping other people, it's changing lives, right? That's why the founder of Spotify and David Senra's new podcast said, impact over happiness. You should optimize for impact over happiness, right? The impact in other people's lives, serving other people, because happiness is a leading indicator of impact, or vice versa. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, right? But yeah, I think you guys get what I'm saying, right? Happiness follows after serving other people. You're right? That's what the Lord represents to me. You know, laying his life down for others, right? Serving other people. And I think that should be the core of your business. How do I wake up and curate my inputs in life to make sure that whatever I'm building improves other people's life as much as possible? At least that's what my current mindset is at. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna end it right here. Let me do some sun maxing, right? I don't even have any shoes on. And yeah, let me get back to walking, and I'm gonna listen. David Senra, he actually created a new podcast right now where he's actually going to be interviewing entrepreneurs, so go and have a look at that part. I'm very bullish and excited for that. Andre and myself are. And yeah, with that being said, hope this video could serve you. Bye bye.